Hi, today I'm going to be making water in oil emulsion. What you've always seen is the oil in water emulsion, which means little or large phase of water. But today we're going to be making large phase of oil with little phase of water. So for my formula, I'm going to have about 25% of water phase, which is distilled water of about 20%, then the humiditant of 5%. The cool down phase is just going to contain 2%, which is my preservative and my tocopherol. Because it contains large amount of oil, which is like grapeseed oil that oxidize quickly, and or which that's why I'm going to be using tocopherol at 1%. But in order for it not to be too shiny or too greasy on the skin, I'm going to be using more of esters, and then silicone alternative, which is natural seal, or some people call it eco seal, is hydrogenated ethyl olivate and the unsaponifiable, that's the inky. But that's too long for me to put on my head. So all I'm saying is the common name is natural seal. I'm going to use that as 6%. The esters, which is C12 to C15 alkaline. Okay. Pardon me, benzoate is at 30%. The usage level is supposed to be between 1 and 30%, but I'm going to be using it as a at the maximum usage rate, which is this 30%. My grapeseed oil will be at 12%. My mango butter is going to be 3%. I have lecithin here, which is going to bind them together at 5%. The maximum percentage is 5% to usable level. But because I do not have any other non-ionic emulsifier emulsifier, that's how I'm going to be using it at the highest percentage. This is a liquid low HLB non-ionic emulsifier. Now you can use any other type. Then you combine it with a waxy low HLB which is which is my beeswax. I have it measured here. The beeswax is going to be at 7%. You can use at 6%, 5. I mean, it depends on how thick you want it to be, because this is going to it's going to affect the viscosity. I If you want it very thick, the waxy emulsifier will be higher. But if you don't want it as thick as that, then you use more of your liquid emulsifier. Then if you have any oil compatible polymer, you can use it. I do not have it, so I'm going to leave it at that. So my beeswax at 7%, my lecithin at 5%. Then mango butter is not compulsory to use butter in this site, or in this kind of case, because we don't want it to be affected by weather. Or even if you are going to be using butter, make it maximum of 10%. I'm using the mango butter at 3%. You can choose to use any other kind of butter, but I know mango butter is not as greasy as shea butter. We are trying to keep the grease as minimum as possible. That's why I'm going to be using it at 3%. And remember, butter will also affect the viscosity. It's going to make it thicker. If you use everything, if you use all liquid, if all your ingredients are all liquid, then it will not be as thick as when you have more of wax and the butter. Those ones can get your emulsion thicker. Then my distilled water, as I said earlier, I'm going to be adding aloe vera juice to it. Which means I would divide the distilled or and the aloe vera juice. So you can use hydrosol, you can use it. Since I won't be using fragrance, because I'm going to be using it personally, and my skin is very dry, so that's why I even like this water in oil emulsion. I like water in oil because it contains water, it contains oil. It's not just staying on the skin, but it's also doing all the jobs that your regular emulsion will do, but even deeper. It's better than using just body butter or just oil on your skin. Then what's have I known you? Okay, of course your humectant. And I'm using propanedol and glycerin. I'm dividing into two. You can use any other type you have. Is your choice. So let's get to formulate. Same way you formulate your, oh okay, I didn't make mention of zinc oxide. This is zinc oxide. This is used as sun protection or this thing, but we are not going to be writing SPF on the packaging, because of course we there is no lab to test how much SPF is going to contain. This is going to be at 10%, and it's also going to help protect the skin. You know, it's used for nappy rash, it's used for different kind of things, not just sunscreen. So this is going to help protect my, and because this is powdery that we are adding into emulsion, we have to be careful so that everything will not settle down, which means when as it's cooling down, we really need to keep mixing the emulsion. So I'm going to weigh all my ingredients now. I've weighed my beeswax. I'm going to weigh other ingredients, so you can, for your own sample, any you can make any measurement. I am going to be making exactly 100 grams of this, because the sample we are going to be creating is going to be small. You definitely need small scale for this. Don't use large scale, your big scale. Then that's for my natural seal. Then for my ester, um you know, esters perform the work of emollient. Is a lipid that works like the work perform the work of emollient, but is not as greasy as other as your plant oil. If there are other alternative you can choose, not necessarily only this caprylic, capillates, or isopropyl myristate. There's, and if you want, you can also still include dimeticon or any other synthetic ingredients. I am using all natural ingredients for this particular formulation. Then my grapeseed oil. Lecithin is a very viscous emollient. You can use it in body butter, you can use it in water in oil emulsion, you can use it in oil in water emulsion. Is versatile. You use it in lip balm. This is just oil and lecithin. Let's clean this place first. I'm going to measure other ingredients now. I have my lecithin, then this is my beeswax, which has been measured, pre-measured. My beeswax that have been pre-measured. Then time to weigh my mango butter, and this is all the mango butter I will be needing. Then I'm going to include it into my oil face. And this is my zinc oxide. which was also pre-measured. So mix everything together, and they will be going on heat. So zinc oxide goes inside your oil face, not water face. So if you are making sunscreen or any other this thing, it's usually better to mix, to dissolve your sunscreen with oil or esters. So this is going on heat, and now it's time to weigh in the water phase. Distilled water, deionized water, anyone can work. We are going to be adding the water phase to the oil phase. And now to my aloe vera juice. It's best to refrigerate aloe vera juice. And then weigh my humectant. When I want to put it on heat, I'll make sure I cover the water so that it doesn't evaporate. Then my glycerin. And that's all for the water phase. So I'm going to cover it now and place it on heat to double boil too. Yeah, that reminds me, there is no need to add gelatin agents to this water in oil emulsion. And we are back. I almost broke the beaker and make a mess, which is what happens sometimes. Today, as I was about to formulate, I discovered that most of my beakers were broken. I knew they've been breaking for a while, and the last time I formulated was I broke like, I think about two. So when it was time to formulate, I needed like 250 ml beaker, about two of them, to make this formulation. And I found out I was out. What? There's no way I did not search, thinking I'll still have more. That's me. That's why I'm always careful working with sensitive materials, because I know the kind of person I am. So let's get back to the formulation. You can see I added the water phase to the oil phase, and you need high share in mixing this. The only reason I'm using this is because, of course, the quantity is very small. If it was large quantity, I would need my immersion blender, but I don't need a immersion blender this time around. So when you're mixing it, just round the edge, not in the middle, round the edge, in order to mix it properly. Let's bring it closer. Exactly. So I only need two more things in here, which is my preservative and my tocopherol. Can you alpha tocopherol, not the acetate. And then you don't need to check the pH. The oil is more than the water. So once you check the pH, you'd have check the water before adding it to this. That's if you have like if you have pH sensitive ingredients in your water phase, then you would have checked it before including it. But now you don't need it again. So I'm going to put it inside water to make it, in order for it to cool down faster. Because I'm not the type that like wasting time. But now see the consistency, and because of the zinc oxide in this, you have to keep mixing because we don't want it to settle down. So if you have immersion, if you're making large batch and you have overhead stirrer, it will be fantastic with this because it will just keep mixing it for you while you do other things, and your hand will not be paining you, because this can be stressful. So imagine having to wait for it to cool down on its own. Ooh, that would take a whole lot of time. So keep it inside water bowl just like me. Shortcut. And that way too, you're also putting the powder. So when the temperature reach about 40 degree or below, you add your cool down phase. But if you are using cool down phase that I like, that can take up to 50 degrees centigrade, then of course you can add your cool down phase by then. So it depends on the ingredients you are using. Check your material, check everything. You see? Oof, can you see? I hope you enjoyed this class. I would like to, if you have any question, let's hear it. If you have any comments, let's hear it. If you have any advice, let's hear it. Advice: go for non-ionic water in oil emulsifiers. So because if you use oil in water emulsifier, that means you're already changing whatever it is that you're making, and we need the oil droplets to surround the water, not the other way around. So I'm going to check the temperature now to make sure that I can add my cool down phase, because it's already getting thick. I'm using this type. It's getting thick. I'll be including the cool down phase now. You can also use your pipette to weigh this. Now that I've added the two cool down phase, I'll finally mix it. And we are done. Congrats in making your own water in oil emulsion if you are making it. But the idea is just to show you how it is done. See the consistency. Till tomorrow before you'll be able to know the final consistency. Then you can package it. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Why the color is like this is because of the lecithin. Remember, lecithin color is not, lecithin color is brownish, kind of, sort of. If you want better color, you can add oil soluble coloring. But I don't want color. I want it to like this. So this I'm going to be dividing into two. One part I'm going to be using it on my skin. I'm not giving it out because I made it for my skin. I have very extreme dry skin, which means most times I use lotion first, then I follow it up with oil or body butter. But with this, I don't need to do that. Then the other parts, I'm going to keep it, stability testing. For every batch of product you make, you need to separate the one you test. You understand? The one you test on the skin is different from the one you do, that will go through preservative testing and all. And if you have more samples, do freeze and thaw sample, do different testing to be sure your product is stable, to be sure the preservative can withstand any other thing. And it blends into the skin quickly. Sun protection sun protection is good for dry skin, for matured skin. This is. Bye.